Of the host, guest, and callers, and are not necessarily those of KKNW, its management, or other advertisers. This program is sponsored by Dr. Pat Basili and Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Dr. Pat. And again, I want to welcome you all. We are live. Thank you so much coming out of Transformation Talk Radio, the Transformation Network, and KKNW AM 1150 AM coming to you live. Look, why are we talking about coming to you live? Today is an interesting day for two reasons. One, I just heard the weather. OMG, it's going to rain. Yay. Good news for us here in the Pacific Northwest. Well, all of you are saying, come on now, we're just getting all your rain. But you know, sometimes the sun shines and sometimes you do need rain. But when you don't know what's going on emotionally, physically, mentally, or spiritually, who do you go to? Today's show, and Benny and I were, and Mary Jane Mack, who's my very special guest, we were just chit-chatting a little bit with Emily too, producer for this show, the TV version. One of the things I was telling Benny, Mary Jane, that I'm getting requests to do the crust busting again. And it's so interesting because that brand hasn't left me, and it hasn't let go of me either. So there are things in our lives that we want to keep in, and there are things in our lives that we're thinking, please. My mama used to say, Lord of mercy, girls, just take this burden from me. I want to introduce to somebody that can help you with that. Mary Jane Mack is a holistic intuitive, a wellness coach, and so much more. You know, how do you keep on top of the latest healing technology? But more importantly, how do you integrate it all? How do you take things that help the mind? How do you take vibrations? How do you take technology that has frequency? How do you do all that? But more importantly, what Mary Jane Mack is doing is she isn't just using them. You're going to hear what she's doing today to teach us about them. She's been committed to helping people for as long as I've known her. She is my practitioner. And there are times where I wish I didn't send her the text message, but oh, well, it is gone. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. You may be at the top of your game, but you just want some other things. Or you may be in the middle of the road and thinking, is this all there is? Or you may be in the middle of a crisis. Not a lot of crisis, but maybe one or two. Where do you go? Today, I want to introduce you to a practitioner, someone that has gone through what it's like to be an RN in a crisis operating hospital situation, delivery, labor and delivery, surgical recovery unit. This is somebody that has been in the forefront. It's very rare to find that. It's very rare to find someone that absolutely knows you turn left, you turn right, or you don't turn at all. Today, I want to just introduce you to how she's poured her life, education, studied, leader, worked with chiropractors all over the world. You name it, she is taking healing to the next level. But today, this is one of the most important things we can talk about. How does Mary Jane Mack help you, me? Is Mary Jane Mack the right person for you? Today, we're going to break it down because we've talked about so many things, Mary Jane, and welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah. We call Nancy yesterday to make an appointment for me and Linda, and then we also have to get back in there. So how do I know that? Because I know Mary Jane Mack is right for me. How do I know that? When you work with somebody and you walk in a mess. Now, Benny has seen me a mess. A lot of times Mary Jane has. Emily has had a glimpse of it. But these past 4 weeks for me have been a challenge, but an opportunity. This is how you know something great is around the corner. But do you have to suffer through it alone? I'm going to leave that question with you. Mary Jane, thank you for joining me here today. And, this idea, is Mary Jane Mack right for you? Let's talk about the history of what you do, the evolution of what you do, and what you've built. Between you and Nancy and the service that is provided, you have created something that integrates multiple modalities. However, it's not a one size fits all, is it?
No, that's the beauty of what I do. It's individual. I'm tapping into your energy and what's right for you. Everything is tailored. It's tailored nutrition, tailored program. It's exactly what you need. And that's why we have predictable results. If I follow your body, because your body has all the answers, and that's all I'm doing with my technique of muscle testing. It's following your body. Your body tells me where you're at and what direction to go. Then I make recommendations of what is going to be the best program for you or what you need to have the best outcome. For example, what technology you might need. Things have changed so much in the last 10 years. I mean, we have technology now that just escalates where you're going. Nutrition works, but nutrition takes a while. So now if you add the technology to it, we can cut the time in half and have great results.
And
so it's exciting.
It is. Let's talk about what we mean by technology, because we've done a lot of shows on this, but I want to give people like a little short refresher. Yesterday, a day before, can't remember, I am working with 2 clients, one a potential client, one that's already our client. And yesterday, one of the folks is telling me about the pain that her partner has in his knees. And I'm just like, Resamax, you got to call Mary Jane Mack. Then I'm talking to a friend of mine, who lives in Mexico, and she showed me her cute little doggy. And yet this cute little doggy is 13 years old. And you know the story. You've seen it in your animal friends. And I said, you got to get Mary Jane Mack and Mary Jane Mack and talk about the Resamax and whatever else for the dog, and especially nutrition. And so we've talked to people about frequency technology. I want you to just walk us through, what some of the technology is. And then we're going to go into, how does Mary Jane know what to do?
Well, everything is about frequency, vibration. Everything is vibration. Your cells, your whole body is vibrating. And when it's vibrating to the optimum level, then you're functioning well. But when your vibration is down and things aren't functioning, you're slow, you're tired, your organs are in low gear. So what we do is, and nutrition raises that vibration. That's what nutrition does, raises the vibration. So everything we're looking at for the body is to raise the vibration so the body can take over and be its best. So with that, we have learned about Resamax. Resamax is a vibrational frequency tool, and it was developed by Sherrick Peck. He's in Utah. He's a genius. And how he developed that, he was told that during a dream at night what he was to invent, what he was to make. And he was just given little things, he had no idea. He's a physical therapist. And they said it was a frequency, it was a vibration, and little hints about what it was. So then he had to figure it out. And then he had another dream. He knew this was a God-given order, you might say. This is what his path was. Through several years, and he himself had 2 broken necks, a stroke, and now he's a young man. So it was developing this technology. The Resamax was to help him in his career. I mean, not career, but his his health. So when he developed the Resumex, I met him about 4 years ago at the Master Circle conference. And that was one of the conferences how I learned about the latest technology. I also have a coach, and the coach, he previews all this technology. And he said, there's so much technology out there, it would blow you away. So the idea is to pick out the cream of the crop, what's going to work for us to get the fastest and best results. And Resumex was at the top of the list that year. So I became a good friend of Sherrick's. I've gone to all his seminars and learned definitely the value of using Resumex. It's the idea, everything is about the brain. Today, you can take care of the lower level, like the organs and everything, but if you're not taking care of the brain, you're not making the connection. The brain has to be involved. So the vibrational tools connect the body to the brain. Now the brain says, oh, this part of the body needs help. And the Resumex being a vibrational tool, you can just rub your body with it, be very specific. It's used for the worst cases that you can imagine. Neurologists, the top neurologists in the country, use it for all pediatric brain injuries, for trauma people who can't walk. They tape them one to each arm and one to each leg, and it helps them walk faster with all the technology that they're using. So Sherrick is recognized by all the top neurologists, I'm going to say, in the world. The Resumex is in 92 countries. And he was just in Mexico doing a mission. So it's all about getting people well. That's what it's about. His mission is to help as many people as he can. So that's one part of the technology that we use is Resumex. Most of my clients all have a Resumex. And when they get into trouble, I can tell them exactly what to do. Whether their bite is off and they have a TMJ problem and they've gone to the dentist, but they still have the problem, I could do a Zoom call with those people if they have the Resumex and walk them through exactly what to do to correct their bite and get the TMJ connected.
Yeah.
And I did this yesterday with a client. It was a 20-minute call and changed her from pain, misery. Every time she put her teeth together, she blew her neck out and her TMJ out. So what we can do today is just so much fun, so easy for me, and so predictable.
But what we're talking about here, and this is really the point of this that I want people to get, and that is we're talking about the integration of things. And I want to just say, this is a live call-in show for all of you out there. Here's the invitation. You want to experience what this is like to do this on air. Mary Jane Mack has been on hundreds of radio shows, live call-ins, and countless people that she's been able to help. Whether that's going to be to pinpoint what part of your body is really out of whack and what she can do. This is how we take one layer and one thing at a time. So call in. You have a question for Mary Jane. If you want to figure out what the heck's going on, I can't get out of my own way, 1-800-930-2819. Please give us a call, 1-800-930-2819. Mary Jane, let's talk about the idea of integrating, because not everybody can do that. And what I really want to talk about is how you've learned to take all of this and know what to do. Now, let me just give you one specific example that keeps getting quoted over and over again. And it goes like this. I don't know what happened, what Mary Jane Mack did when Linda came in and went in for a session. And I remember the day this happened. I so remember this like it was yesterday. And Linda went in and Mary Jane did a number of treatments on Linda. And when Linda left, the calm, the peace, her disposition, everything was different. And I remember that day because I remember, I think what you did that day was one of the things was use the Resimax somewhere in the mouth or something. I don't remember the details. But part of this is just to know how to look at a situation. And when you're looking at the situation, know which layer to hit first. Because we are layered people, aren't we?
Well, the body has priorities. If you don't take, like if you go to just anybody and you give them their symptoms, they're going to treat your symptoms. What I do is I listen to them. And then when I test the body, I go with the priority because that has caused all these symptoms. So now I'm not treating the symptoms, I'm treating the root cause of what's going on. That's the beauty of what I do. And I'm not guessing at it. I'm 100% always right on. There may be something else that shows up later, but at that moment, that's it. I never doubt myself because I trust the body and I trust the testing and I trust my gift. So I never doubt myself. I go with that and then we have great results. So it's all about figuring out where they're at and what technology they might need to get them where they want to go. And for example, I want to mention this too. Besides, we'll talk more about it later, the STEM pod. Well, I'm having a workshop on September 5th and 6th, and it's Dr. Kieran Collins is coming from New York. And what I'm looking for is for people to call who have chronic pain. That could be neuropathy, it could be failed back surgery, could be back pain. The most severe chronic pain people that I can find, I'm inviting to come to that seminar to see the miracles that can happen with Dr. Kieran. He travels all over the world, Dr. Collins, and he works on people in doctors' offices and showing them this technology and the benefits that you get immediately from this treatment. It's just unbelievable and fascinating and gives people an answer.
Yeah.
So if anybody is interested in that, you can call my office and talk to Nancy to see if you qualify for that.
Yeah, give out the number. And then I want to talk about what this technology is for a minute, because it's extremely important. I know I've used it, and I want to just get into it a little bit more to understand what people are going to experience in the workshop. But first, let's give out your number so people can have a chat with Nancy.
Okay, it's 425-392-0659.
Okay, so let's have a conversation about this, because I remember the first time that I sat down. I want you to walk us through an outline of what that technology is and what it addresses. Now, it's probably not enough hours in the day to go through the whole thing, but what I think is really important is to really give people a sense of the power of something like this when it's used to pinpoint very specific things. Walk us through this and what people will learn at the workshop.
Well, what they will learn is Dr. Collins is able to, we listen to your story, and Dr. Collins is able to pinpoint the exact nerve that's causing the pain. And the STEM pod is a technology that when you use it, it puts in a radio frequency. You find the nerve where the pain is. You use this, it's just a little stylus. You put it on the nerve and it'll flash green when you're on the nerve. And you leave it there from 3 to 5 minutes. Like neuropathy, it's about 5 minutes on each leg. And what you're doing is stimulating that nerve, and the radio frequency interrupts the nerve so the nerve can heal and regenerate and come back functioning properly. Yeah. So it's like people with numbness and pain in their legs. When you find it may take several treatments, but you find the nerve and treat that nerve and you have amazing results. Whether it's sciatic pain, people with failed back surgery, people with chronic pain who just can't do anything, doesn't matter what it is. We find that the STEM pod can help most cases. It's unbelievable. Yeah. And the most difficult cases, the better.
Well, I remember coming in because I thought I injured my shoulder again from playing, and I had this pain in my neck. For lack of a better word, it's really actually in my shoulder, in the top area that connects to the neck. And I thought, maybe I have had shoulder surgery, so I thought, oh, oopsie, right? But once you looked at it, you zoomed in on, let me just call it a nerve that's somewhere in the back of my neck. And that's what you worked on. You didn't like work on my shoulder. You found something, and I want you to explain this in your own language. You found something that said, this is what the issue is. Because you see, sometimes we think it's one thing, and the reality, it's not. So that's very important to talk about how this is pinpointing things.
Well, what I do is muscle testing. So you can tell me what your story or what's going on with you, and then I can test the body and find out exactly where it's coming from. You may think it's your shoulder, but it could be your neck. You might think it's your neck, but it's your TMJ and your bite. So I'm just, the body will tell me in order exactly what I need to do. I never doubt the body, and I never do anything I never do anything out of order. And that's why we have great results. For example, somebody came in recently, hip pain. They had been to several people, other chiropractors, other things. They still had the hip pain. And all I did was gently work on his ankle, very gently, and I could hear it click in, and he had no more hip pain. So it wasn't his hip, it was his foot. And that was because he was wearing bad shoes. So I'm checking not only the person, I'm checking their shoes, I'm checking their house, their environment, what's causing it. It's a whole package, whether it's emotions, it's a whole package that goes into what I do. It's not one thing. That's why we have great results.
Yeah.
And it's things people would never figure out.
No, I know. I mean, no, you're absolutely right, because I know that I've called you and I've heard you tell stories that people will call and say, Mary Jane, that 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 that. And what happens is you use what you use, your experience, your knowledge, your training, and you come up with the number one priority. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to ask Mary Jane Mack what this journey has been like for her, what she's most excited about that's coming around the corner, and what are some of the results that she's getting by integrating all of the things we've talked about today and on other shows. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
All right, all clear. Coach. Call 1-800-889-1757. Make an appointment today or go to my website, pushybroadfromthebronx.com, and click on the link that says Recovery Recharged. Don't wait. Get the help you need today. This is Ellen Stewart, Pushy Broad from the Bronx on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Erica Gifford Mills has written the book that is about to change your life. If you yearn to branch out, to take a leap of faith, to love yourself and others fully, and to finally let go of whatever no longer serves you, then Erica's book, The Rooted Life, Live, Love, Let Go, is for you. Readers will learn about how their values affect every aspect of their lives, why self-care and self-love is a critical first step to stopping limiting beliefs and negative thoughts in their tracks. The Rooted Life, Live, Love, Let Go teaches readers who are ready to unlearn unhealthy patterns to set, communicate, and keep their boundaries, to live with passion on purpose, and to create goals with the intention of putting them into action. Once you pick up your own copy along with the companion workbook, you'll be one step closer to being fully equipped, empowered, and enlightened on your path to be yourself for yourself. If you're ready to plant powerful and intentional roots to live it up, love it up, and let it go, visit GetRootedRadio.com.
Hi there, Anahata Roach, the Crystal Coach here. Do you have things that you do and respond to or feel triggered by that you have no idea why? Whatever that is, whether it was something that you are even conscious about or you actually have a memory of, there is in your body stored programs and trauma that an emotional clearing will help you unlock. It's called the spiral, and it is one of the most amazing clearing modalities I've ever come across. If you'd like to know more about the spiral and this wonderful modality that has helped so many people, including myself, please go to my website, thecrystalcoach.com, and click on the discovery call. It's free, and who knows, we might be meant to work together.
All right, coming back.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Mary Jane Mack is my very special guest today, and there's a real reason for this show. She and I both bump into, she doesn't bump into him, but I do more bumping into people every day. There are 3 calls I've had just since Friday with new clients and potential clients, and the conversations, somehow in a conversation, we're not even talking about the physicality or what's going on, because it's about doing a show. But what inevitably comes up is something. Like, I was talking to a friend of mine who will soon become a new host for a fabulous show. And I was speaking with her, and she had her little dog, and her dog just got groomed, and she picked up her dog. And she started to talk about this, a 13-year-old little cutie. And the minute I heard her start to talk about that, I said, you've got to call Mary Jane Mack and the Resumax. And also, the fact that she's 13 doesn't mean that this doggy has to be in pain. And then I'm talking to somebody else yesterday, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, here I am, my husband in so much pain, his knees and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, you got to call Mary Jane, get the Resumax. See, because I'm not authorized and I don't know what else to do except say, call Mary Jane Mack. So there's Benny. I love that, Benny.
Sorry about that.
I thought you were going to play the jackhammer for me right there.
I got that ready too, if you need it.
Come on, do it. Let's go. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. 1-800-930-2819 to call in for today to find out what's happening. But what I want to say is go to maryjanemack.com. That's the first place that I'd like y'all to go. maryjanemack.com. And when you go there, you're going to see information about things we've talked about. We haven't talked about the brain tap yet, but we'll probably get to it. The other night, Mary Jane, I'm in the middle of, I can't even describe it. And I just turned that brain tap thing on. I ask, believe, receive one. Love that one. And I'm asleep in like minutes. But of course, it kept playing. But what I'm trying to say is we're going to walk you through what Mary Jane does, not because we're going to tell you about technology. I want you to hear the stories. And if those of you out there have a story you want to share, please give us a call. But Mary Jane has worked with the worst of the worst situations and the not so worst, because it doesn't matter. Now, tell us about the workshop before we get going here. Where is it being held, and how do we find out more about it?
It's being held September 5th and 6th, and there's going to be 3 sessions, Friday at 1 and at 6, and Saturday morning at 9. Dr. Kieran's coming in from New York, and we're looking for chronic pain issues, not, looking for the most difficult. And how, if you're interested and you want to get on the list, and if you qualify, you could call Nancy and talk to her, and she'll get you on the schedule. It's going to fill up fast, so we ask you to call as soon as possible this week. We hope we're sure we'll get it filled up this week. So, but it's going to be exciting. I mean, it's so much fun. I do a STEMPod class every week with Dr. Collins. Yeah. So I hear all the exciting stories across the country. He's in a different state every week. So it's how you can help people and see miracles when people are ready. Sometimes people just aren't ready. They just are into that suffering and don't want to change. It takes a little work to change. But when people are ready and they find out they could do it, get out of that pain so easy, it's very exciting.
Yeah. I want to just say the phone number to call is 888-777-4232. 888-777-4232. Give Nancy a call. If you go to a voicemail, just leave a message. Nancy is amazing, and we'll get back to you. Yeah. But I agree with Mary Jane. This is going to fill up.
Yeah. And also, you're welcome to bring your spouse or whoever it is so you can understand what it is. But Dr. Collins will be working on each person at the workshop. Wow. You will all receive, know what the STEMPod does.
Wow. So let's talk about the journey. From the origins of having the idea to open your doors. And let's talk about some of the people you've worked with and what the transformations are. Let's just, what are some of the situations, of course, without mentioning names, what are some of the cases that show up for you? Because these are really case studies. They really are.
Well, there's so many stories, and sometimes it's so simple for me. It's so dramatic for them. And it's like, even my coach has said, yeah, for you, it's simple, but not for us. We have no idea. And when we have these miracles and you have this amazing gift, he said, you have a God-given gift that helps so many people. And we're all in awe. And you're just like, it's another time, another, client, and so easy. So when people come in, I love when they've gone to all the doctors, they've had all the tests, can't figure out what's wrong, or had a biopsy and the biopsy is not good, and they want to do all this dramatic care, like they want to do more surgery and so forth. And they come in because somebody told them about me. Well, I just check their body and find out what their body says. And if their body scores a certain way, I know I can help them. If they score in another way where their frequency is very low and they're more than a crisis, they're really sick, their body will not show me what to do. So I'm never going to work or do anything on anybody that can hurt them or get them in more trouble. That's why what I do is so amazing. So if I can help you, your body will tell me. And I will tell you if I can help you or not. And when I see people, I see people that it's they have to have this desire and want to get well. If they're wishy-washy about it, then I say you need to wait, which is rare. But I want people that are ready to get well. They've done it. I've had a young gal who had every test imaginable. Young gal, she's 32. She had a bone marrow tested. She had everything. They thought she had cancer, everything. And then she came to me. It was her mother-in-law that told her about me. So she's been coming since April. And I've been using technology on her. She couldn't swallow pills. Sometimes people can't do that because they're so sick. So what I do with her is use the Resumex and the Wellness Pro. So I put her on the Wellness Pro, which is a frequency machine, and it has a couple thousand programs in it. And I identify what program she needs, and then that program rebuilds the cells so the body can regenerate. And she came in twice a week for a long time, and she is doing amazing. And no one else could, her mother-in-law sent a thank you. No one else could help her, all the doctors, and all we did was follow her body. Now she's happy, healthy, getting the spark back. And she thought she was dying. Yeah. So she has 2 young children. So, and then I have people who have had chronic pain before the stim pod and neuropathy and issues. And again, it's a process. So the technology, the Resumex helps tons with neuropathy, but you add the stim pod to it, now you get amazing results.
Yeah. I mean, let me give an example. I remember I got my 2 knees done during COVID. What do I mean by knees done? I got 2 knee replacements. But the second one the doctor really was extremely concerned about this. I wasn't. I called him one day and I said, you know what? I got this little electric charge going through my knee. So here's me. I'm thinking this metal knee is causing no. So the doctor's like, oh my God, not the doctor, but the woman, the practitioner is like, that's a nerve issue. It's a nerve issue. Next thing I know, I'm on gabapentin. And I go on gabapentin. I know nothing about it, but it's a nerve blocker. Now, when you get these surgeries, they give you a nerve blocker IV for 2 days. That's it. But I got on this gabapentin, knew nothing about it. And I actually forgot I was on it. And I was literally on it for 2 years. And as I was on it, I gained 50 pounds. No kidding. Was close to that. But I just knew there was something not right. And you and I talked about this and you helped me get off it. But let's explain to people how important it is to know what you put in your body, because there's latest research now on gabapentin, isn't there?
Yes. Last week, I just found out about this research. I got this, they're sending me the study, but to make a long story short, now it's after 6 doses of gabapentin, you have the chance of high risk chance of dementia. It's like, and everybody with nerve pain is on gabapentin. And it's one of the first things they'll put people on. Instead of oxy, they go to gabapentin.
Yes.
And so now, is it a better choice? Not necessarily. Not after a few doses. You have the risk of dementia because it affects your brain cells. That's pretty serious. So when people don't understand that, and they're in this chronic pain, and they just want something to help them with the pain. So that's one of the easy things doctors put them on because they have no answer to what to do for them. And with the stim pod, we're able to get people off those medications. We don't take anybody off medications. We send people back to their doctor, and they make that decision. But we're able to get them out of the pain so they don't need the medication. And now we could give them good nutrition to rebuild the nerves and regenerate the nerves and rebuild their body. Because after being on medication and being in pain so long, their body and their brain is toasted. I mean, they need help. So once you start to regenerate them and get them back to life, so now they can have a life, it's like a light bulb going off. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I didn't know what I didn't know. I had in my life, Mary Jane, I have been on more drugs than I even want to think about. And, you know, in that journey, there are a lot of things I've learned, but this was a new one for me. I mean, I was right in the fear zone with the idea that I got a nerve that's, you know, going bizarro. And it was just one thing after the other. We have a caller that would like to talk with you.
Okay.
I'd love to go to the phones here. Benny, are you taking the call? Let's rock it.
Sounds good. We'll take Linda calling in from Seattle. Hey, Linda.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are
you
we this morning? I'm Mary Jane.
Hi.
Hi.
How can I help you?
What am I up to?
No, I said, how can I help you?
Oh, you can help me. I was calling because I heard you guys wanting to talk about people that could have had experience. And over the last several years, well, it's a lot of years now, I've had a lot of help. And you've helped the dog, you've helped me, you've helped my sister, you've helped my mother. When my mother had her cancer back, you gave her another at least 5 years of her life, which we were so grateful for. And all I can remember about it was the nutrition that you gave her. And she kept saying, oh, I don't want any more pills. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And then she said, okay, I'll do it. And you gave her stuff you used to call it the sludge. My mother was full of sludge. And
I still do. Yeah.
You still do. And you cleaned that out. And I'm telling you, she lived another 5 years and was really healthy about it. I mean, she still did all the doctor stuff. The other thing is you talked about the Resumax. And I think I use that more than anything else in my life. We have a dog. The dog was sick, very upset, very stressed, and you could see it. And all you kept saying is, you need to use the Resumax on her, use the Resumax on her. And I kept thinking, okay, she's crazy. The dog is not going to let me sit there and put this machine on her. And she did. And it helped her to relax. And she got to the point where when she heard it coming, she would lay on her back and put her forelegs up. Like, okay, I'm ready for it. And it was the greatest thing. That thing is like amazing. I use it all the time. I even leave it on all night long. And you tell me, lay it on your chest. Your heart needs it. Okay, so I do that. And the other thing that's important about all of this is you've done so much for all of my family and me. And I went and had a procedure done for my heart. And all I needed was to talk to you and get some of the nutrition that you gave me. And as soon as I have AFib, I take what you told me to do, take 5, take 10, and see what happens. And it stops it almost like immediately. And I am so grateful for all the things that you have done. And people just don't even realize the effect that you can have on their dog, their children, any family members.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for everything that you've done. It brings tears to my eyes, actually, because there's so many in my family. And my brother's dog, we used it on her because she goes absolutely ballistic for fireworks and all of that. And she'll lay there and she'll let us to do that to her, put the Resumax on her and just have it go gently. And for some reason, it relaxes her and it's not as bad, the trauma. So thank you very much for everything that you do. And if anybody out there needs help with anything, it can't hurt to pick up the phone and call and see if you can get some help for whatever's going on with you. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you.
I want to mention something about the animals, because yesterday I talked to somebody and they got a new horse, And I said, and the horse was kind of fidgety. I said, use the Resumex on it. She said, oh, I don't think I could do that. I don't think he'll let me. And I said, are you kidding me? Now I have horses, and my horses are like trained to the exact, I mean, they're perfect. Anyway, so whenever you can't use that on an animal, it's not an animal problem, it's a people problem. When you can't use it on your kids, or your kids don't take nutrition, it's not a kid problem, it's a parent problem. So when you're doing animals, you don't take it, turn it on and charge them with it. You turn it on, you do yourself a little bit, you put it on low, and then then when you work on the animal, turn it off and just rub them with it. And then you take it away, and then you turn it on, and gradually, if you go to the animal and they move away, you move first. So you gradually get them used to it. It's desensitizing them. That's how you do all things with animals, to get them used to loud noises or whatever it is. And when you do that, you're successful, and then they love it. So.
Yeah. I want to thank Linda for calling in, but there is one thing I want to mention about this, which had both Linda and I just panicked. And Mary Jane, you know the story, but I need to really talk about it a minute, because it isn't just the nutrition, it's a combination of what you do. And I remember Joan getting the worst diagnosis a person could get. You've got bone cancer, and now your doctor tells you your heart's at 30%. And when somebody's heart's at 30%, you can barely walk. That is the situation. I remember telling Linda, Linda, I know this person, Mary Jane Mack, and I don't know if she does anything, but I remember exactly. And you're right about it. Joan had to be ready and open. And I remember barely the conversation, but it was like, well, Joan's got a tired heart. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
And whatever the nutrition was you prescribed for her or you gave her wasn't going to affect her negatively. A month goes by, and she goes back to the heart doctor. And she took what you told her to take. And she goes to the heart doctor, and the heart doctor is like, what happened? And I remember Linda telling me that the doctor's like, this can't be right. And so what was he kind of gnawing about? Well, her heart went from something like 30% to 60%. And the doctor's scratching his head like, oh, we must be wrong. Well, months went by. She continued the nutrition. And my recollection is, from that point, Joan lived 12 additional years well. See, this is the difference. You can live, but do you want to live well? That's really at the bottom of what we're talking about here, is you can change and transform your lifestyle with the proper care. That's the thing I remember, because 30%, the woman looked like she was not going to make it another day. Now, whatever you did to pinpoint that, it's based on your expertise. Not everybody can do it.
No, and it's what I do every day. I do the same thing every day, no matter who you are. It's the same, absolute same thing. Now, I have clients all over the United States and in London. So I do phone consultations. So you don't have to be with me. You could do a phone consultation or a Zoom call. And when you're not with me, I'm doing the same thing, because I'm intuitive, the same thing in my head, same muscle testing, go through the same spots. So it's always the same. And when I get one thing, I start from the beginning. And that's how I come up with exactly what you need. I'll give you another example. I had a gal 2 weeks ago. She went to Disneyland. And while she was in Disneyland, she was walking down the hall and she fainted. And her bowels, she lost her bowel control and bladder control. And then she was sick for 2 days. She didn't let me know till she came home. And then she came home, and she was feeling better. She was much better. And then all of a sudden she got worse again. It was the same thing where she was going to faint. She hadn't called me though. So then she called me, and I figured out what was wrong with her. She actually had a kidney stone, and she was moving a kidney stone. And that's what happened to her, like when she was on her vacation, but it was still there. And so we worked on last week when she called. I put her on a program to move that kidney stone and break it up. And I talked to her yesterday and I said, how you doing? She said, 1,000,000 times better than a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so thankful and appreciative because she was through it. She was much better. And that's what I told her. When you can identify it, know what it is, I can muscle test to tell the progress. So like you're a 2 one time I check you. Next time you're a 6. I know things are working. That's why we have predictable results.
Yeah. And, you know, I want to just tap into this. We got a few minutes left. I want to be clear about this. It's not just about the body. The work you've done on me has been about the mind and emotions. And we can't talk enough about the emotional state and pinpointing, because you have a technique and approach that will exactly pinpoint that thing that is not obvious to us, maybe subconscious. And you will nail that thing, and every bone in our bodies wants to say that's not it.
Yeah.
But the reality,
it's called NET, neuroemotional technique. You have every memory you've ever had, and I'm able to tap into that and figure out what it is. And this also, what else I do is, if you're having an issue with work, you don't know what your career, you don't know exactly where you're going, or like if you're in real estate, what the price of the house should be. I work with realtors all the time, and all I do is score the cost of the house, when it should go up for sale, just in detail. And that's what they follow, and they sell the house at that price. We can figure out exactly what it is. So it doesn't matter whether you're in real estate, or you're a CEO of a company, or you're an artist looking for guidance on what to sell your paintings for, or all I do is confirm what you're confused about.
Yeah.
And make it clear, so now you could fly and do what you want to do.
Yeah. You know, the next show, I'd love to talk about that technique and about how the emotional sides of things really, what do you call it? Sludge, really create a sludge factory.
Well, everything is emotional. Everything is emotional. So if you don't tap into that, people don't get well.
Exactly.
They just don't get well.
Mary Jane, one more time, tell us about the upcoming workshop, the date, and how people can register.
Okay, it's September 5th and 6th. Dr. Kieran Collins coming out from New York, an expert on using the stim pod and getting people out of chronic pain. It's September 5th and 6th. We're having 3 sessions, and we're looking for people, the worst people with the worst chronic pain, neuropathy, severe back pain. So call Nancy and see if you qualify or get on the list. There's 3 sessions, and they'll fill up quickly, and it'll be exciting to get Dr. Collins' information, and he'll work on everybody at the workshop.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you that number. It's 888-777-4232. MaryJaneMack.com. That's MaryJaneMack, MACK.com. The phone number is 888-777-4232. Nancy will give you all the information. Mary Jane, you know, as we bring this full circle, I want to ask you this question. You know, at the end of the day, the audience loves to hear all this information, but there's also an aspect they like to hear from you. And that is your personal message, the message that you want to leave people with, you know, what's in your heart. Would you share that with us today?
Yes. If you're struggling and you don't know where to go and you're homebound, you can't do what you want to do, and you're not happy with that, there is a simple way to change your life. So visualize who you want to be, visualize where you're going. Be the best you can be. If you have to be here on this earth, live and enjoy and be happy. And you can do that. You can accomplish that. And we're happy to help you with that. But the most important thing is to live your life the best you can be, with joy and laughter.
Mary Jane, thank you so much. And thank you for holding the workshop. Thank you for bringing the best of the best in to work with you on this, because I know how dedicated and committed you are to seeing people transform, not just their bodies, but their lives, their emotional state, their mental state. And it's like Linda said, you know, there's a level of gratitude we have for the work that you do that an hour show just can't describe it all. So for those of you that really want to get some help, give Mary Jane Mack a call. And for the rest of you out there, it doesn't have to be a crisis. What I love about Mary Jane's work, prevention is the number one way to go.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Mary Jane. Thank you, Benny. And thank you, Emily. And to all of you out there, it's so great to connect with you at the morning show here at the Dr. Pat Show. We'll see you next time.
Cool. All clear.